back to J&J. Myself,
He's back.
Vigilante,
What's up, everyone?
Special K,
Shadow.
and Shadow, our security. He's a midget. He's only stands 2 feet tall, so he's below the table. And our other security officer, Chico, he only stands maybe 10 inches tall. You're short guys.
Less than a ruler.
Anyway, we got our J&J cups. Get your cup made. YourMarriage@gmail.com. Topic of the day is something we call Mr. Charlie. Now, everybody works for Mr. Charlie. Most of you minorities know who Mr. Charlie is. Now, if you ever watched Django, what's the guy's name? Damn, snakes on the plane.
Oh, Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson would have been Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is the man that's in control of the business when the owner is not around. So we all got a Mr. Charlie.
He's the manager.
Some of our Mr. Charlies, is named Charlie. Some of our Mr. Charlies are not, but we all have a Mr. Charlie. We disappeared during the day. We work for Mr. Charlie. No matter what you might call that person, whether it's a female or male, it comes back to Mr. Charlie. My Mr. Charlie is any given day when I step out of that vehicle, walk into a house, I'm in Mr. Charlie's house. Your given days when you step out of your vehicle, walking through that business, you're at Mr. Charlie's house.
Her name is Peggy.
Vigilante's given days he step out of that vehicle, walk into a house, that's Mr. Charlie's house. We all work for Mr. Charlie, but sometimes Mr. Charlie works the hell out of us. Don't work the hell out of me, because I like what I do. Mr. Charlie work the hell out of you?
Nope.
You like what you do.
I ain't having it.
Vigilante, Mr. Charlie work the hell out of you. Do you like what you do?
I love what I do, Mr.
So
Charlie.
Mr. Charlie can't work him. But we do have one person, his name is Thomas Heads. Not his real name. We're just going to call him Thomas Heads or Butter. You know, you know what, we'll call him Butter. We use the nickname for him. Mr. Charlie works his ass and don't allow him to call his wife, his family, or nothing.
Wow, that's bad.
Yes. Mr. Charlie frees him one day a week to speak to his wife. Of that Mr. Charlie works.
Once a week.
Sounds like that heinous practice that was practiced for hundreds of years.
Yes. So Mr. Charlie is everywhere. Mr. Charlie is nowhere. Depends on what you do for a living. If your job gets hard, Mr. Charlie got you. If you're doing a job and it's taking a long time, if we don't hear from our friends, first thing we say is Mr. Charlie got him. That's what we do. And Mr. Charlie could be anybody. And the narco's position, and I like to say the name is narco. That usually narco is like a drug enforcement officer or a DEA, somebody who deals in drugs. If let's say he's on a raid or something like that, if that's what he does, he could be just narco. He could be this Mexican fucking dude that deals drugs. That's what I think he is, because he is from fucking Mexico, Ecuador.
Maybe he just knock on people.
Snitching. Narco could be a snitch.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question regarding Mr. Charlie. Like he said, certain folks, they're out doing their job, and if you don't hear from them, Mr. Charlie has them.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was
Yo, excuse me.
yeah,
Something you want to tell us? You trying to slit your wrist and miss?
no.
Can I lick it?
Yeah.
That's gay.
Well,
Aw.
That's gay. That's queer gay shit right there.
Anyway, if you do something to Mr. Charlie's not liking,
Mm-hmm.
do you think Mr. Charlie punishes people?
My Mr. Charlie never punished me
Okay.
because my Mr. Charlie knows me. And I think, even though I haven't known my Mr. Charlie long, I think I know my Mr. Charlie. And if Mr. Charlie's doing his job, he's not being a boss or a supervisor, but he's being a leader.
Oh, okay.
If you do it right.
That Mr. Charlie will look at all angles and will see that your way is not his way, but you still got the same results.
Not
So-
where I work at.
So, well, the question was, do you know anyone that in association with Mr. Charlie, that if they mess up some, say they went left and Mr. Charlie wanted them to go right.
Go right.
Yeah.
All right,
Have you heard of any bad, negative?
now this man right here, he's not here right now. I think Mr. Charlie has him right now, but his Mr. Charlie once told him when he found out he was taking a vacation, he told him, "We're going to work you to death."
For real?
We're going to work you to death. I think.
Get
So
out.
you're not saying he wasn't exaggerating. You're saying that he was
He's
dead
serious. He was
dead serious.
You know how people
He
say.
actually told him that?
You know how let's say let's go to the left. And we don't mean left some racist shit like some ignorant people do. When I say left, that means we're going off topic.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the left.
Mm.
I'm a drug dealer, kingpin drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
You're a street runner.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a street runner. So basically, right now is she comes and tells me, Vigilante had 4 people rip him off the other day. Let's say the drugs we're selling is amphetamines,
Okay.
whatever the fuck that is.
Meth. But anyway,
Okay, let's say we sell meth. We're selling meth at $10 a shot,
Well,
right?
he ain't a drug dealer.
All right, we're selling meth at $10 a shot. Okay, so people got 4 shots of meth off you, injected them in their arm, and they didn't pay you. So she says, "Hey, Vigilante got ripped off. So I'll come to you like, what happened?" You'll say, "Yeah, they won't do it again, boss, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, "You know what? If they do it again, I'm gonna kill you."
Mm-hmm.
And now I had that little chuckle behind it. So you're like, he's joking with me, but no,
He's serious.
serious. That's what I think my man went through when they said we're gonna work you to death.
So there was a chuckle involved.
And let me tell you why. Because when they told him that, his ass was running from. Wait a minute, where's he living at? He was living in San Bernardino Valley. Is that California?
It sounds
San,
like
San
a,
Bernardino Valley? Is that
yeah.
right?
I think San Bernardino.
San Bernardino Valley, and they kept giving his ass jobs in Boston. That's on the East Coast. So he was driving from California to Boston.
Wow.
And they you know what they told him?
What?
When you hit the 8-hour point, stop wherever you are because you're off the clock. Half the time you slept in that goddamn van on the side of the road.
Ain't that like a trucker?
No, he's not.
Truckers do that, don't
Yeah,
they?
but truckers do that.
Truckers do
They
that,
just
but
pull over and
they
hit
got a
the-
little space in the back. But they were serious, and they tried to work him to death.
Wow.
The man said, "We're gonna
Wow.
work you to death."
That's crazy.
Anyway, you got a Mr. Charlie story?
Nah.
No. I know you don't have a Mr. Charlie story.
Nothing I can't not be hostile about.
But you love your job. Anyway, at the end of the day,
It is what it is.
Chico says it is what it is.